What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, the podcast where we talk about movies and comics and everything in between. My name is Darren, aka DJ, and I'm joined by my sister today.
Hi, everybody. It's Dion.
Dion. My sister Dion. So, we finally got to finishing Jessica Jones season 3. Came out a month ago? A couple of months ago?
I feel like it's only been a month, right?
Yeah, I think it's only been about a month. It came out a little bit ago, but we finally got around to watching all the episodes. This is the last season of Marvel Netflix everything. So all of the Marvel Netflix drama series are gone. Obviously, they've all been canceled. So this was the last one. And I think, in particular, it didn't end on a bad note. You know, I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't...
Well, yeah, but it didn't end on a great note, I guess.
Yeah, that's something, but I don't think the writers knew that it was going to be canceled, because the cancellation started kind of abruptly, and Jessica Jones had already been shot.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't know. Otherwise, I think they might have changed how they ended it and maybe made it a real ending.
Yeah, or maybe more dramatic, or I don't know, something.
Yeah, I would say the last episode was kind of lackluster.
Yeah. Well, you already know what was going to happen.
True. So, yeah, we can get into the nitty-gritty of that. Spoilers for Jessica Jones Season 3, if you haven't seen it. Make sure you watch it and tune in later. So first, as we always do, what did you think of the overall story?
I'm going to say just okay. I feel like there was parts... Well, one, I think they could have done without Jerry Hogarth's side storyline.
I can agree with you on that. It was kind of nothing.
It
overall.
was very nothing, and I just felt like the more I saw her, the more I hated her.
Yeah.
And then she would do one thing to seem like, oh, she's going to redeem herself, and then end up being twice as evil as she was before.
Yeah. In the end, she's just a horrible person. And then both me and my wife said this while we were watching it. At one point, I was just like, okay, Jerry, so you're just a villain now.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot when it was. But whatever she was doing, I'm like, you're just bad. This isn't even an excuse of you being just this cutthroat lawyer or whatever. Right. You're just bad.
Yeah, and she's always saying she's doing it in the name to, protect her firm and blah. I'm like, but at this point, you're just an awful person.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense, especially when you talk about someone that, like, you knew Jessica Jones, right? This is supposed to be the first episode. You wanted her to help you kill yourself when the time comes.
Yeah. So
you must like her at some form.
Yeah. So, she asked Jessica, because she has ALS, to, if it gets too bad, to kill her for her, which, of course, Jessica's not going to do, because she's an actual good person. And then, so what you were referring to earlier is when she's representing the serial killer, like she decides to just represent him. Yeah. Knowing good and well, like, Jessica Jones. So you just make Jessica Jones seem like the bad guy and represent a known serial killer. Yeah. When you know good and well, if Jessica went after her, then he was... Yeah. Bad.
It didn't make any sense. It was like other stuff, like throughout the season, it was just like she just like, I'm like, dude, that's just cutthroat, like when she just blatantly turns on someone. Mm-hmm. And it was just, and I've just seen the same thing with like her associate, what's her name, Zaya.
Yeah,
she was like the same way, and she's mad at Malcolm, like, well, I mean, you're saying these things against me, and he's like, no, I don't want to be a bad person. Yeah. I still love you. And she's like, well, I mean, if you pretty much is like, you're not getting down how I'm getting down, you're the selfish one. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and she told him he was cruel. I was going to comment on that. Yeah. They had this whole arc in here making it seem like Malcolm was the bad person. Now, he did some bad stuff.
But he was trying to redeem himself.
Yeah, but like in the end, especially his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend by the end of it, trying to make it seem like he was just this horrible person. And I was looking at her, and by the end, before they even got to the point of them breaking up or whatever, I was like, don't be with her. Like, she's horrible.
She's horrible. Like, she knows this guy's a serial killer, killing people, the things he have done. And basically, she's like, I'm a lawyer, and I'm going to do whatever I want for my firm.
Right. And side note, because if any lawyers actually listen to us, that would be surprising. But if they do, I do know that, like, if you're a defense attorney, there's going to be times when you have to defend a horrible person.
True.
But on the side note, they blatantly chose to defend him. It wasn't like they were handed the case or, you know, something like that. Like, they went out seeking him, and Jerry Hogarth did this in order to get some publicity.
Yeah.
So, like, it was just horrible. And then Zaya knew this, and she just went along with it, acting high and mighty like she's the good guy. When you're like, you're turning out to be a horrible person.
I'm like, you're choosing to defend this guy. I mean, like, who wants to defend Charles Manson? Like, I don't want to be this guy's lawyer. Like, that's insane.
By choice. People like that get public defenders, okay?
Right. I just feel like me as a lawyer, like, if I was a lawyer, like, I would stay so far away from something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
And then for her to make him look out like he's being a bad person, because he took a look at his life and where he was going and realized that he didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, and then she was trying to make it horrible because he knew who the masked vigilante, which is Trish Walker, he knew who it was, and, you know, for lying about it and stuff like that all this time, you know, she was saying he was horrible. But, you know, this was before Trish went off the deep end. Ish. So, like, he had no reason to do otherwise, you know, and I didn't like that arc because it was making him seem like, they're telling us he was a horrible person when through action in the show, he wasn't. Right.
And even then, you know, he said, like, he didn't want to break up with her. He didn't want to force her to stop what she was. He's like, you can do what you do, but I'm not that life no more.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're just cruel. Is he though? He's something like he didn't actually. He's like, look, this is you. This is not me.
Yeah.
I'm not that ruthless person.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you can do better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the whole storyline with Jerry and Kilth.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is.
It wasn't. It didn't do anything for the show.
No, not at all. I wasn't. It just. It was like, was I supposed to feel sorry for her because it's supposed to be the love she can never get? But I'm like,
it was kind of dirty at the end where she's like, well, you're going to die alone. And I'm like, well, that's kind of true.
But that's kind of what she gets, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just, even then, I'm like, you're still an awful person.
Yeah, because you didn't change. Like, she actually didn't change. She was saying to everybody that she was trying to change all throughout, but she didn't change at all.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping at some point that someone killed her throughout the season.
Wow.
I was just hoping, like, in one episode, I'm like, okay, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, especially when she turned on Jessica, I was mad about that.
Yeah.
And, like, you know Jessica for how long?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So, the serial killer. Now, I guess we have different opinions on this. I thought that it was pretty cool that we had a person that wasn't a superpowered villain. I thought that was interesting because he was kind of getting ahead with his intellect rather than, you know, superpowers, but you disagree?
I disagree because, like, I guess what they were trying to get at that, you know, she wanted to be different. So, like, she wanted the justice system to work in this process.
Yeah.
And because she wanted the justice system to work, she really couldn't do anything to stop him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, this guy is killing people. Just stop him.
Yeah. That's another thing. I'm going to go back to Jerry and Zaya here.
Yeah.
Where and a lot of people say, oh, there's things in place for this. Now, obviously, Jessica is actively going out, making sure she can pin something on this guy so he's off the streets. Mm-hmm. But by them choosing to defend him and saying, oh, well, you know, there's a system, they'll figure it out, blah, blah, blah. You're just allowing this man to be out there killing more people.
Yeah.
Like, how can you live with that? Like, that's horrible.
Yeah, yeah. Knowing that this guy's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but, I mean, I do have to say he was pretty smart in how he kind of trapped Jessica in some instances.
He was smart, but I felt like, because if it wasn't for her own self-imposed limitations, he wasn't really a challenge for her.
No, because she could easily stop him.
So I guess that's what my problem is. It's like, it's not really a challenge. He's not really a villain.
Fair enough, but I will give you this. I think by the end, he was not the main villain of the...
No, he wasn't, and I did not like where that story went either.
Okay, so we're talking about Trish Walker, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, before we got to her being the villain of the season, again, as in all seasons, she gets on my nerves because... she just kept messing everything up. Like, the whole thing with the serial killer could have ended so soon, but every time Trish did something stupid that allowed the man to get off.
Well, I think feel like like the first 4 episodes or whatever, her and Jessica was just so mad at each other. I didn't watch season 2. So I think, she killed Jessica's mom, but Jessica's mom was a murderer, right?
Jessica's mom was a murderer. So this kind of set up where Jessica is here, because she finally got her mom back. Turns out she was experimented on just like Jessica was. She's crazy strong and crazy. So it didn't turn out like it did for Jessica. Like, it made her mentally unstable. So she was literally ripping people apart. But it's Jessica's mother. So Jessica knew the right thing to do was to, she had to turn her in, which she kept going back and forth on, and eventually she did. But then in the end, because it was her mother, she decided to escape with her mother, which was the wrong decision. But she didn't have her mother for decades. And now she does, so,
So this season she decided not to make that same mistake.
Yeah.
By, she's going to stop Trish.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. I didn't like, because I just feel like you spent so long of repairing the relationship only for Trish to turn around and to become an evil person.
Yeah. Well, first I didn't get Trish because so at the end of season 2, Jessica's mother stops, they're running away. Jessica's mother's she realizes, she's destroying her daughter's life. Mm-hmm. So she decides to turn herself in. So she's going to do that. She pretty much lets the police know where they are, and she's just waiting for them there on, a Ferris wheel. Mm-hmm. And Trish decides that her mother is such a bad person that she needs to go. Now, what would actually happen is her mother would be sent to the raft. That's where they were saying they were going to send her. And Trish just makes this decision. Oh, she's a horrible person. She has to die, and shoots her.
Okay, see, now I'm glad you said it. Since I did not watch, I thought that she may have killed her mom. She killed her mom trying to save someone else is what I was getting from it. Mm-hmm. But she just straight up shot her.
She just killed her. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
She was not, in the moment, she was not attacking anyone and doing anything. She was sitting in a Ferris wheel with Jessica, explaining to her that basically, she needs to turn herself in.
Okay, so now I understand the feels that Jessica had towards her. That makes more sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And then I'm like, regardless, I don't understand why Trish is sitting there why are you mad at me? And it's you killed her mother. Do you not understand? You keep saying how horrible a person is, but in the end, just like with this season, we know that Trish's mom was horrible, right? Mm-hmm. But in the end, it's still your mother, right? And Trish felt sad about it. In fact, she went off the deep end about it.
Well, see, I guess that's why I was confused, because Trish was saying, I did what I had to do. So I thought that maybe she killed her trying to protect Jessica or someone else. But you're telling me that that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So no, that's not what you had to do.
Yeah, I think she's trying to protect Jessica because Jessica decided to run.
But she wasn't in immediate danger, though.
Yeah. It was a stupid move, yes, but she wasn't in danger.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so now I get that.
And apparently that wasn't the only time. And that's the way I get what Jessica was saying. It's this wasn't the experiment that made you like this. It wasn't all of a sudden having, powers, and it wasn't your mom dying that made you like this. You were already like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And basically she was, because right then and there, you decided to murder somebody because you thought they were a bad person.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what she was pretty much doing. It's just she's like, I got to balance out and, take evil from the world. So I'm like, so you start killing these guys, and so you end up exactly like them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I did not like that story arc for Trish. I didn't like it. It was so annoying.
I didn't dislike it. She was annoying. I didn't dislike the arc. I thought it was interesting enough, I guess. Like I said, it's not great.
Well, I just feel I don't know. Jessica needs one friend, right?
True.
And now everyone is gone.
True. That's the thing. It's but I think that's kind of her character. She can never have anything, pretty much.
But she has Luke Cage. At least in the comic book, she does.
Yeah, that's true. They have a kid.
Yeah.
Well, we may never see that.
No.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
But, yeah. So, Trish.
I just did not like, and just this spiral that she was going down. I was just like, this girl needs a therapist.
Yeah, well, she's crazy. I'm gonna put it like that. She's nuts.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe it was a result of her child abuse growing up.
It could be, yes. I'm like, there's some issues there.
Yeah. But I'm glad that Jessica decided to resolve it the way she did. Like, she kind of gave her one out, like, okay, we're going to do this. And then she's like, well, all right, I'm going to turn you in. If you're going to just kill somebody else. Because, and that's the thing, they were done. Jessica did an amazing job, caught the serial killer. He was going to go to jail. There was no way he was going to get off.
Yeah.
And then Trish just decides to kill him anyway.
Yeah.
So they were done. Trish would have been fine. It would have been okay. She just have to stop being the mass vigilante, and all is good, right?
Yeah.
And again, she ruins it. And that was what made her annoying to me, because she kept ruining
Well,
stuff.
I guess, I don't know. I just feel like it went from one in the beginning of the season how she wanted to be this hero, but she also wanted to be recognized, which was understandable because she was always in the limelight.
Right.
And so now she's a hero, but no one knows that she is. So I thought that maybe they'll just find a way to redeem that. But she went from wanting to be known as a hero to wanting to rid the earth of evil.
Yeah. Because she's crazy.
Yeah.
But can we talk about her costume? That was horrible.
The scarf?
Yeah, she just got a scarf around her face and a beanie.
Yeah. I was like, why can't you buy a skull cap?
I don't know, man.
Or a mask.
It was
or
horrible.
something.
I mean, I guess they did some homage because her costume is yellow in the comics,
Yeah.
and she had a yellow shirt on.
Yeah. And then when she was trying on costumes, she did have that one outfit on.
Oh, I must have.
It was like
remember
it
that.
was like I forgot. I don't know. Episode 3 or 4. She's like in the mirror. She had on like this all yellow outfit and like a black cat mask on.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like what her original costume was like.
Yeah. So, and look, again, I understand we can't do original,
But they can do more than a
costumes.
scarf and a knit cap.
Yeah. Can we do something? That was horrible.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about some side characters. You got Eric. I thought his power was interesting.
Yeah, his power was very interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of actually really useful.
It is very useful, but dangerous for him, I guess.
If they're too evil.
Yeah. Which, again, going back to Trish, she's mad at him because he wouldn't go to... Because he used to blackmail people, so he would have gone to prison for some time. And
1 year.
Yeah. But I get what they were saying. It would have killed him, and it probably would, because the people in
But
prison are bad.
I feel like Trish might have had a point, though. If
Okay.
he's in solitary, he's by himself.
True.
Okay, you might interact with guards, and they're pretty evil.
Yeah, I did kind of think that you probably could have negotiated something, because he has a special circumstance.
Yes.
Maybe have him on house arrest or something
And then
like that.
I also feel like if this guy is turning into a serial killer who's killed 7 people.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he wouldn't have done any jail time, blackmailer or no blackmailer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't pretend to know law, but I think he might have been able to.
It just seemed like
or
a good
at
trade-off
least,
to
like
me.
I was saying, he at least would have been able to work something out.
Right, because then you got to remember, who did she went to? Jerry Hogarth for legal advice.
Yeah.
So, can you trust everything she says?
Probably not. Probably could have got Matt Murdock on the case.
Right.
Give him some
I
stuff.
keep hoping he shows up at a lawyer.
Every time they say they need a lawyer, I'm like, Matt? Maybe?
Right? Like, why they keep going to Jerry Hogarth?
like, oh.
Which makes no sense because they have no money. They're not paying her.
Yeah.
It's right. She's supposed to be this top tier, high profile lawyer. Wouldn't you go to the good poor person lawyer?
True.
That's why I just keep hoping he showed up, but he never did.
So, but with Eric, I was just thinking, because, like, okay, let's say we have Ant-Man, right? He went and broke international law, right? And we put him on house arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, it was for some years, but he was on house arrest. I think we probably could have worked out to put old dude on
Right.
house arrest.
Right, because what's blackmail? Extortion?
Yeah, I mean...
I feel like... And then he extorted criminals.
Yeah. Is it wrong? Yes.
It's wrong, but I
Yeah.
feel like at the end of the day, getting a serial killer off the street would trump the guy who blackmailed other criminals.
Yeah. Now, it would all depend on the lawyer you get, but I feel like it could have been possible.
Yes. So I kind of feel her on that. Like, dude, you could have helped us in this. And
Yeah.
you could have.
You could have. But yeah, but that power is interesting. I kind of liked it, you know. Especially the one, I think they showed it well in that scene when he got kidnapped, and it was kind of like, you know, the closer he got to him, or even when he touched him, like it really had a bad effect on him.
Yeah.
Because the guy was bad.
Yeah.
So, but by the end of the show, he's going to be working with the cop guy.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that's good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a great way. I mean, good career. If you're a cop, you automatically know who, you know, inherently if the guy's good or bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good skill.
Yeah. Or, yeah, let's say you have an innocent person. He can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. I would watch a show with him, like, with him as a star. I don't even know if he's a real character.
I don't know. I meant to look it up. I know the serial killer was based off of some guy named Fool Killer.
Okay.
I didn't look at who Fool Killer was, but he's loosely based off of that guy.
Yeah, I figured he was based off, you know, they don't choose major villains and just make them up. So I figured he was based off of something.
Yeah.
Okay, then is there anybody else really to talk about?
No, we talked about Jerry, we talked about Trish, Malcolm. I think we covered the main people.
Yeah. Malcolm's dating a ex-prostitute.
Which, I mean, you know, I'm no shame in your game. She was just... Never mind.
I mean, yeah, fine if you want to.
Well, it's fine if you want to. It's just, I don't know. You could do better.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I guess all in all, she was a better person than his first girlfriend, so whatever.
Right, I guess, like, at the end of the day, I was going to say she's an honest person.
Yeah.
You know, good at heart.
So we got that. Well, I guess we can rate this season. What do you say?
6.5.
All right. Yeah, I'll say 6.5. Yeah. Just because I want to say it's better than season 2.
Definitely better than season 2. Nowhere near as good as season 1.
Yeah, season 1 was definitely a hit.
Yeah, and I felt like this season had episodes that I really liked, and I guess at the end of the day, it's just I didn't like the overall story arc.
Yeah.
It was just, there were some good episodes, but I was just like, ugh, this is where y'all going with this?
That's where they went. Okay, yeah, so 6.5 out of 10 for season 3 of Jessica Jones. So I guess it didn't go out with a bang.
No.
But, you know, I feel like with Jessica Jones, the problem is you have to stick to... Season 1 was so good because it was a psychological thriller. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because Kilgrave was unpredictable with what he could do. And of course you can't use him as a villain every season, but I think they need to stick with that psychological thriller aspect.
Or maybe just any kind of thriller aspect. But I don't know who her other villains are.
Yeah.
If maybe that she was a kind of a hero that needed, you know, like, did Luke Cage needs to also be in her show or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what I was thinking. I think other people said this, but I kind of want like a She-Hulk and Jessica Jones private investigation, and just make it what do you call them? You know, like a cop show. What do you,
like Law and Order?
Yeah, and you pick somebody for a season,
a case of the season,
and they go through it.
Yeah, that would be something like that would be cool. Yeah, I don't think Jessica Jones, especially since Kilgrave was her biggest villain, and you use that coming out the gate, that she might have needed an additional character.
Yeah. You know, season 2 and 3, now that you say that, all of the main stuff, like, you're going to need some personal stuff in the show, but the main story beats were all super personal with her, and I don't think it worked out so well, because if you think about it, her mom was the villain in season 2, right, and then her sister's the villain in season 3, you know, and it's kind of, I think we need to step away from that, and because I think it takes away from what she can actually do.
Well, that, and I feel like we already know how messed up she already is.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like you're emphasizing the fact that we already know.
Yeah.
So it's not that kind of emotional anymore. You know, the season started off with her and Trish not even getting along, and it ended with her and Trish basically like not getting along.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like we spent 13 episodes to end up where we started.
Right. So I think procedural. That's what the word I was looking for.
That is the word. Yes.
Yeah. So if you have one like a procedural, because I believe She-Hulk is a lawyer.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you have that, and you can have courtroom scenes with She-Hulk, and you know Jessica Jones highlighting her detective skills. That would be really interesting, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, you have some side personal stuff going on because you always do.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we get. They're in control of Marvel now. There's 2 years from cancel date.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for Jessica Jones, does that count when it aired on Netflix or when they actually
I
canceled
think
it?
when they actually canceled it, because they had already canceled it months ago.
Yeah.
They just had to air it. So I think it's when it got canceled.
Okay. So in that case, I mean, it's still only 2022, basically.
They could. I mean, and then, if Marvel and they probably wanted to start over, I think they could.
Yeah.
It'll be perfectly okay.
Yeah, they could because they didn't have an impact on the overall MCU.
Yeah.
But no, none of these seasons besides Iron Fist was like particularly horrible. So you could keep it, and even if you have to recast, I don't think.
I think they would. I don't think anyone really wants to, especially 2 years from now, going to reprise these roles.
Well, Kristen Ritter said she didn't.
Yeah.
I think I forget his name, but the guy who plays Matt Murdock, he said he would.
He would. I think
Luke Cage, probably.
I was going to call him Luke Coulter. What's his first name?
Mike Coulter.
I think he's definitely in another show coming up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Will they be available?
Probably
it's
not.
Probably the issue.
Yeah.
Recast Iron Fist.
I was like, that guy who plays Danny Rand, probably he wasn't a good actor. So.
Well, he didn't work for Iron Fist. I'll say that much. All right, so that is our thoughts on Jessica Jones season 3. So let's go ahead and get into some box office. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Spider-Man Far From Home. It made $45 million domestically this weekend here, and $100 million internationally, putting it up to a total of $847 million worldwide.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, you're almost at $1 billion in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty fast. So I think this enhances what I said last week, that $1 billion should no longer be that magical number.
For Marvel movies?
It just seems like they reach it regardless.
That's crazy.
True.
Yeah, like, because you would think some of these smaller movies wouldn't. I mean, but this is a special case. It's the movie coming off the back of Endgame. Spider-Man is a popular character. So, I don't know. But then again, it could just be that people have so much trust in Marvel now.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. Yeah. I mean, this movie was good enough. I'm not going to hate on it making $1 billion.
I don't think I wasn't going to say that it shouldn't get $1 billion. I just feel like since they all seem to be making $1 billion, that I feel like that's is that really like something special anymore?
Yeah. So what do we do when they don't make $1 billion? Is it a bad movie?
Well, Ant-Man never gets that close.
No, he doesn't. But I like his movies.
Yeah, but also no one ever expects Ant-Man to make a ton of money.
It's Ant-Man.
Yeah, because he is the dumbest superhero.
Well, that's the thing. And I know you don't like Spider-Man, but overall, as the sales numbers go, for Spider-Man, like with merchandising, he makes more than all of the other superheroes.
Spider-Man's really popular for some reason.
Yeah. So I guess you're right on that. So Ant-Man probably won't make $1 billion, but Spider-Man is a huge franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, good note out of that. This should probably make Sony, really buckle down and not take him back from the MCU.
Why would you think that?
Because it just made $1 billion being with Marvel, something they were not able to do.
But I feel like, to me, it seems like Sony will be like, oh, we have a good Spider-Man. We can take him back.
They're going to ruin it.
And do it ourselves.
They're going to ruin it.
Oh, yeah, they will.
We see what they did. Their chance with Spider-Man was the Venom movie that came out last year.
Didn't that make $1 billion?
I don't think. No, it didn't make $1 billion. It made a bunch of money, but it didn't deserve it.
No, it didn't. But it doesn't matter.
It was a bad movie.
But it made it, though.
At me, everybody. It was a bad movie. At me if you want to. It was a bad movie. So, but see, that's the thing. It won't last. Because you think the next Venom movie is going to make as much?
No.
Yeah, because you came out with a bad movie. So, all right. So that's about it for the box office. So I guess it's a bit time for us to get into the news. News for this week. Some information has come up which could let us know maybe what we're getting for Marvel Phase 4.
Okay.
So on Facebook, someone found some inactive Facebook pages. So they're marked private now. Now there's no way to tell if this was actually from Marvel, but it kind of seems likely. So take this with a grain of salt, but there are some stuff in there that makes it seem like it is actually, these pages are from Marvel. So first, there are inactive Dark Avenger pages and Young Avengers pages. So maybe we're going to be getting the Dark Avengers actually seem likely because there's a lot of talk of Norman Osborn.
Okay, I did not know who the Dark Avengers are.
Okay, so Dark Avengers came up after Secret Invasion.
Okay.
So obviously no trust in the Avengers anymore. Norman Osborn with his Iron Patriot armor, which has been used, starts up the new Avengers team with villains.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay, all right, I like that.
And then, of course, Young Avengers are Young Avengers, which we do have a lot of young people.
What was that, like Spider-Man and...
I mean, we can use him in the MCU. I don't think he was a part of Young Avengers. But since he's in the MCU, he's still a teen. Probably could use him for that.
But there are no other team heroes unless they're going to start introducing them.
Well, you got Scott Lang's daughter, who's now
She's a person?
teen. Yeah, she's Stinger or something like that.
Sounds so intimidating. Stinger? Like, seriously?
I don't know if it's... I think it's something like Stinger.
I can't take that person seriously.
But they all have insect names, so whatever. So yeah, she's a superhero. And then obviously there's been talk of Clint training a new Hawkeye.
Right, that's what his show's supposed to be about, right?
Yeah, so we got a few, and they might throw in some new ones. Plus, the next person may be in there too, because apparently there is a Marvel's Ironheart page. She's the new Iron Man. It's Riri Williams. Okay. Apparently, that comic book was not well received.
Okay.
But if anybody can do it, it could be Marvel. Now, personally, if you do something like that, like a young Iron Man, I would want you to use his daughter, but she's too young.
Yes.
So we're probably not going to get that.
Right. Honestly, to me, the Dark Avengers seems more like something I would rather see than a Young Avengers, especially since I don't know who these people are in the Young Avengers.
Yeah. So, I
would
mean,
rather not.
I don't know what's going to happen. I would rather see Dark Avengers too.
Yeah.
If they do Young Avengers, maybe don't call the movie Young Avengers. I don't know. Just do a movie with the young kids in it or something.
Oh, yeah, but I feel like they got to establish them first.
That's the thing, which is probably going to take a while. I mean, we're not going to get to the next big movie for a little bit.
Right.
It usually takes a few years, so we'll get to that. And, of course, there were pages for the Black Widow movie and the Eternals, which is...
We already know.
Yeah, which is kind of adding some validity to the other ones.
Right.
But still, we don't know. But maybe those are the next movies we'll be seeing coming up. Could be interesting. Some more Marvel news. They're casting an unknown for Shang-Chi. Somebody came out and basically said they're probably going to be casting an unknown actor to play Shang-Chi.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done good in that arena anyway, casting kind of relatively unknown people.
Yeah, that's...
Plus, it's Shang-Chi. I'm pretty sure you can do good. Interesting fact, when the call went out, they said it has to be of a Chinese ancestry. So, not only Asian, but you have to be Chinese.
Oh, they're not going to pull one of those.
Get a Korean guy and say he's Chinese.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like, one, how hard is it to find a Chinese actor? I feel like...
I mean, they have their own movies, so it can't be that hard.
It's not hard. I just feel like, we in America is like, you look close enough.
Yeah.
And, they cast people in roles that like, this guy's Korean or,
Or
you get
even
Ricans
worse,
to
put a
play
Japanese
Colombians.
person in that.
Yeah. So, no, I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely good. Plus, I mean, we have a lot of Chinese American actors too,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure there's some unknown people that are like low on the bar right now that are still out there. So,
Yep. Cool.
So we have that, and James Bond. So Bond 25, we've been hearing a lot of news about that. I know we're a little sketchy on that. You know, how this movie's going to be. There's
Awful, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to be good. But some news. Christoph Waltz is returning as Blofeld.
I didn't like him in Spectre.
Yeah, well, yep, Spectre wasn't good.
And he's returning.
So, yay.
Yeah, boo. Okay, next.
Yeah.
Well, I just think they ruined the whole...
I don't know. Like, this... I'm not sure about how this movie's going to turn out.
Okay.
But some news has come out. Lashana Lynch is going to be playing the new 007. And I feel like I need to clarify some things here. Because I know there may be uproar. Because Lashana Lynch, if you don't know, is the actress who played Brie Larson's best friend in Captain Marvel.
Oh, that's what she is?
Yeah.
Oh, I do not like that choice.
Yeah, I don't know how she is as an actress. I
just,
really
to
don't
me,
know.
that I can see her as a spy. Now that I know who you're talking about, no. I thought it was a random person.
Well, she's going to be in Bond 25, so we'll see how she can act as a spy. Maybe she can do it. I don't know.
I already don't like it. Okay.
So, there may be some blowback because she is both female and black. But I think it is important to point out that she's not playing James Bond. So she's not Bond himself. Like, Bond is still in his universe, and apparently I think he's retiring or something. She's just taking on the role of Agent 007 in MI6, which I think is the proper way to do that.
I would agree, because I know for a while there's someone like, the next James Bond, and I feel like James Bond has to remain that character that Ian Fleming wrote.
Yeah.
So he's a white British guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like James Bond absolutely has to remain that. So if someone else can be 007, if he left, that 007 number is available.
Yeah.
Someone else can be 007, so that's fine. I necessarily don't feel like she's a good fit. I don't know her that well as an actress, but she did nothing for me in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those moves like how in Jason Bourne. He's like, oh, we're gonna go with someone new and different, and everyone hated it.
Renner.
Yeah, and everyone hated it, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna switch back. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. She's gonna get her movie, and then they'll be like, guess what? James Bond is back.
Well, I think if you got, I can't even say a better actress because I don't know, but I have to see how she acts in Bond 25 to see how. Why does this movie still not have a name? I'm tired of calling it Bond 25. So I guess I want to see how she does there because I don't know how she is.
Okay, so reserve judgment until we actually see her as a spy.
Yeah, because I have nothing to base it off of.
Okay.
If she's good as a spy, then I'm fine with it. If she's not, I would say you could have done the same thing, just get
someone better.
But going back to that, because we talked about something similar last week with Ariel, and I think, now I don't find an issue with Ariel, but this is a better way of doing it rather than taking a character and changing them.
Yes.
Basically, it's a replacement character. Technically how Zendaya is in Spider-Man.
Right, she's not technically MJ.
Yeah, so she is the replacement for Mary Jane, but technically she is not Mary Jane. So technically they didn't change the character.
Right.
So it kind of works, and that's the same here. So people who might be upset about it can shut up.
Well, people are going to be upset about it.
Yeah. But hopefully she does well. I would like to see, I like James Bond and I like 007 movies. So
we'll see.
Yeah. Last bit of news that I have, Lion King.
The reviews are awful.
Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes score came out. It's 58% positive ratings.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's what I feel like the problem with doing these movies is you're doing a movie that's so beloved like The Lion King. The live action, like what I was kind of saying about Aladdin, is the live action version to me has to add something to it to take my nostalgia and my love for this movie to a whole nother level.
Right.
And they're saying this movie doesn't do that. It's just blah.
Yeah, basically, they're saying it's Lion King, but, not the colorful animation,
but not
that
the
was.
Lion King. So what is the point? If you're not going to get them same feels you got as a little kid walking out of that theater, what's the point?
Yeah. So we'll have to see what the audience thinks.
Is that next week?
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
next week.
hate it.
We'll see, but yeah, I mean, as I've been saying all along, hashtag not my Lion King. So whatever. Hashtag not my Aladdin. Hashtag not my Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag definitely not my Mulan.
Oh no, I'm not even
going to watch Mulan.
You ruined
so,
it.
Huh?
They ruined it. No Mushu. No. No.
So you heard it here. We're not going to be reviewing Mulan. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, so Lion King, man, yeah, why? Yeah. It's kind of pointless, and that's the thing. I'm like, Disney, there's no need to be doing all these remakes of these movies.
It's pointless, especially not when you're saying like, oh, we want to introduce this new generation of kids.
Yeah.
But you can still see all of these movies.
Yeah, the animations, they do stand up. So
they stand up well. So these new generation of kids can still... I mean, just like when we were seeing Sleeping Beauty and Snow White.
Yeah, these movies are from like the 50s, 40s,
right,
50s, 60s.
Was well before our time, and we saw it. Everyone in our generation know what the Flintstones and the... Oh, everyone mentioned that. The Flintstones and the Jetsons is well before our time. So you don't have to reintroduce that to us. I already know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of stupid.
Yeah. So now that I mentioned the Flintstones, I did not really read the article, so this is just kind of like a tidbit. Apparently, they're making an adult animated series of the Flintstones.
An adult animated series?
Yes, I
guess
it's
like Family Guy.
Like I'm guessing like Family Guy with the Flintstones. I did not read it in too much detail, but when I was like,
is Hanna-Barbera alive?
No, they can't be alive.
I know. Because there's no way they agree with this. Really?
Yeah. Oh, man. I really wish I would have, read it in more detail. I just skimmed the headlines like, what?
Okay. I might have to look into that. I guess I would give the show... I'll give it 2 episodes.
I would give it a shot just because I'm just so confused.
Yeah, I say 2 because, you can never... A lot of people... You can't do the first episode thing because I'm going to tell you first, the pilot episode is always the worst of the season. I want to say. Pilot episode of The Office wasn't good.
It was exactly like the pilot episode of the British version of The Office.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the British version of The Office.
Sorry, British.
I didn't like it. Oh. Really? So should I have given Veronica Mars more than 1 episode? Because last week I tried to watch it. That was what you doing.
You did give it more than 1
I gave it 1 1/4.
Oh, no, I don't think you're good. Some things you just know is bad. No, there's some Netflix shows I didn't give 1 episode. I'm like,
no.
There
are some shows I'll be like, okay, 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, you could, okay, I'll take it, but some you can tell. But if something's like, okay, not that great, maybe give it another episode. But if it's just really bad, whatever. Yeah. Like Parks and Rec, the first episode.
It was okay.
It was okay, yeah. But compared to the rest of the seasons.
Yeah. I guess I gave Orville 2 episodes.
Orville was... Here's my problem with Orville, okay? Mm-hmm. So, it's Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah.
So you expect it to be a comedy like Family Guy,
well, that's
right?
what they said it was, but it's not.
It's just Star Trek with some jokes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's literally just Star Trek with some jokes.
I thought it was going to be more like a parody on Star Trek, like, oh, funny Star Trek. Which, by the way, I don't like Star Trek.
Yeah. I mean,
so that kind of automatically put me in like, and I really don't know why I gave the show a chance. Probably because it came on after football.
Okay.
And then I was just like, it's not even funny. It's just generic Star Trek.
Yeah, which I think I watched maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
I know for sure I gave it 2 episodes, but that was it.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, it's not a bad show. It's just.
It wasn't what you thought?
Yeah, it's not anything special.
Yeah.
It's Star Trek. I'm sorry, it's just Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, even like with the missions and everything they had, I was like,
it's Star Trek.
It's Star Trek. So, okay. And that's about all the news that I got for the week. So I guess we can see what you're doing.
Me first?
Sure.
Okay, so Netflix is finally coming out with the 2nd season of Mindhunter. It's coming out in August.
Okay.
Now, it's been like 2 years for the second season to come out, which makes no sense because they renewed it like right after the first season aired. And I'm like, where's my show at? So anyways, Mindhunter kind of reminds me of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
So it's about it's based off of this real FBI guy who in the 70s and 80s went around interviewing serial killers to kind of get like into like the mind of the serial killer, you know, what makes them do the things that they do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but you know, there's no criminal of the week kind of deal.
Right.
It's just like, you know, you're set in the 70s and these guys traveling around the country interviewing these serial killers. And what got me was that a lot of these people, I didn't know who they were. And like, you know, and these people are describing like their crimes and stuff. And I'm like, this guy can't be real.
And he is.
And he is. It's like the co-ed killer. I think his name is Ed Kemper or something like that. The guy's like 6'8", big dude. And he was like decapitating women. And that's like his mom was like his first. It was just like it was like him and a whole bunch of other crazy people, and it's so interesting but so disturbing, especially since because I'm like so dumb and I did not know that, and I'm like they made these guys up. No one could have done something like this.
Well, you know, it's crazy. You know how you said like when I watched The Act on Hulu. And I'm like, this is a true story. This couldn't have really happened, right?
Yeah.
And then you know I look it up and. Come to find out, in my opinion, like the true story is worse than what was on Hulu.
Yeah.
You know, so it's crazy.
Yeah, so it was just so like it's so interesting. So I'm rewatching the first season since it's been 2 years, and even then it was like it's been so long I don't really remember the details of everything that happened. But it's really good, and so next season is they're gonna investigate these child murders that happened in Atlanta.
Okay.
I again don't know the story. It took place between 1979 and 1984.
Okay.
So before our time.
Yeah.
But apparently there was a guy killing kids in Atlanta. So that's what the next season is about.
Oh, well,
but it is a good show.
Nice.
If you so desire to check it out.
I might check it out. I might need a good day to do that. Seems depressing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely will check that out. Most of this week I spent watching Jessica Jones and catching up on Legion as well, which we'll talk about eventually. Which I thought I don't think the first episode's out on Hulu yet or something.
Not yet. I'll check again. It wasn't when I checked this weekend.
Okay, so I'll check that out because I don't have FX, so you know, good stuff. But in between that, I was watching this YouTube channel called Legal Eagle, and it's a lawyer guy. There's a lawyer, and he like just reviews different like courtroom scenes and law stuff that goes on in TV shows and movies and stuff. And it was pretty interesting. Like, you know, he did I think he did Dark Knight.
Which the scene when all the gang.
Well, he did that entire movie to show you how many laws both Joker and Batman broke.
We already know Batman breaks laws. That's not surprising. He breaks them all.
But he reviewed like Liar Liar and the courtroom scene from Daredevil season 2 with the Punisher. Apparently that's super inaccurate. A lot of stuff is inaccurate, but there's some things on there that's surprising to be like extremely accurate. Like I think they said Suits was kind of accurate.
I feel like Suits has to be since the entire show is about law.
Yeah, but
I mean, Suits is ridiculous.
Yeah,
but you can't be too ridiculous, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I wonder if they could go back and do like the practice or something.
Oh, maybe somebody should suggest that and have him do the practice. He did some Law and Order stuff. Those were pretty accurate.
That makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. It was one show, I forgot. It was a newer show, but I forgot what the name of it was. And it was like extremely accurate.
A law show?
Yeah.
New one? Did it just get canceled?
Not
is
new
it
one? Is it? Maybe. I don't
Which
know.
channel does it come on?
I don't know, because I only saw it when he reviewed it.
What kind of people were in it?
People. I don't know. But yeah, his little channel is interesting, and it helps me waste time doing work. You know,
is he similar to the doctor guy that reviewed? Because I saw this guy review like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad apparently.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a couple of doctors. One that is from Britain and one in America, Dr. Guys, that reviews stuff. I watch some of their YouTube channel too because it's interesting. I think that's why The Lawyer got suggested to me.
Okay.
And
I might check that out because I'm interested. Because, you know, I love law shows.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting.
Yeah.
One good thing is that he always points out in all these shows, apparently lawyers don't enter that little section between their tables and the judge's stand.
They got to stand behind like a little lectern thing, right?
Well, they have to stand behind their table.
Oh.
They don't approach the jury or the witness at all. Apparently, you will be tackled by the bailiff.
Do you wonder that maybe that's a new thing because there's so many crazies out there now?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I feel like they walk around so much. For that to be something so simple, you know what I mean? Like every show shows them walking around.
It is a big dramatic thing, though.
Okay, the O.J. Simpson trial. They moved away from that table. So
Do we have pictures of that?
Darren, it was in the 90s. Goodness, not the dark ages. Yes, there's pictures. Darren, it was on TV.
Okay,
like, literally,
all right.
I know we were kids. But literally, they didn't show their regular programming to show the O.J. Simpson trial.
That's true. People were watching it. Okay, so, okay. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know.
If that's more of a newer thing because I know for sure Johnny Cochran walked away from that table.
I think this guy is like 28 or something like that. So he's our age. So he's definitely younger.
Yeah.
So he would have become a lawyer a few years
Recently,
ago.
yeah.
Maybe at most a few years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's a new thing.
I just wonder because that's like the only actual trial, and I'm like I feel like they moved unless it's an LA thing because you know they got different rules in LA.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I mean, apparently he knows about law in a lot of different places, so
Okay.
I mean, it's good. So yeah, that's what I was doing. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I didn't really do too much interesting. It was at my friend's wedding, but that's not interesting.
Yes, tell everyone about your friend's wedding. No,
that took us so much of my time this week. I didn't really do too much.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
All right, so next week, I think we'll reluctantly be talking about Lion King.
Yeah.
And then I think that kind of is the end of this big movie boom.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's only going to be a few other movies. We kind of review. Are we going to review Hobbs and Shaw?
I mean, if it's good, why not?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I just feel like it's gonna be a blind entertainment. Like I already know it's not gonna be a good movie.
Yeah, but it's like Fast and Furious. Will it be Fast and Furious good? Then
right, just
I'll be
like
fine.
stupid good. Yeah. So interesting enough, what's the name of that movie with the hurricane and the alligators?
I don't know what.
Chomp Claws. Let's just come out. It just came out.
What
Crawl.
is this? Oh, okay.
Apparently, it's
I didn't even pay attention.
entertaining.
Is it?
That is what one of the reviews, and it was like, it's entertaining.
Is it entertaining?
I would not pay money to go
Is it
see
Sharknado entertaining?
Maybe better than Sharknado entertaining. Maybe it's like Lake Placid entertaining.
Okay, Lake Placid. You know what? No, I can't even say that because I was a kid when I saw Lake Placid.
That's true. It's probably really dumb. Okay, what about Deep Blue Sea entertaining?
Yeah, okay. If I get to see Samuel L. Jackson be eaten by a shark, someone needs to plug up this.
Oh man. That was
okay.
what made that scene even funnier. I was watching it with like our great aunt, and she like dove off the couch, like, oh my god! And that made it so much better than him getting eaten by a shark. Was her reaction to that?
I can imagine her doing that too. All right, all right. So I guess if you want to see Chomp,
I think it's
Crawl. Okay, sorry, Crawl. Not Chomp. You know what? I've seen some advertisement about Crawl, and it went away from my mind because I was like, "That's stupid."
It's so dumb.
So, there's a new movie. It was a trailer that came out. We didn't discuss it last week. Something Knives Out. Got Chris Evans in it. Apparently, it's looking like a good movie or something like that.
All right, we'll check out that trailer. Discuss it next week.
Yeah. See how it is. But with that being said, that's about the end of the podcast. So thank you guys very much for listening. If you want to reach out to us, if you want to at me for saying I didn't like Star Trek or that Venom was a bad movie, at me at facebook.com/3drivals, or you can catch us on Twitter. That is at 3_rivals on Twitter, or you can email us 3drivals@gmail.com. With that being said, again, thank you very much for listening, and peace out.